Hi there, and welcome to A Mid-B Covers HoT. I'm the Mid-B, Mies Beans, and this is episode 5 of House of the Dragon. Episode 5 opens in Runestone at the Vale, where Daemon's wife, Lady Rhea Royce, returns from a hunt to find Daemon waiting. Rhea gets in some good digs at Daemon, indicating she's heard what he's been running around saying about her, before asking him what he intends to do next. He intends to kill her, and he does. He's the worst now. Next we sail to Driftmark with King Viserys, his newly appointed hand, Sir Lionel Strong, Princess Rhaenyra, and Sir Criston Cole. They intend to beg, or rather, ask Lord Corlys and Princess Rhaenys for Lord Laenor, their son's hand in marriage. King Viserys is very, very sick. Otto intended to leave King's Landing without saying so much as goodbye to his daughter, Queen Alicent, which is so fucked up, but also on brand, weirdly. Thought he'd at least say bye to Aegon. He blames his dismissal as hand on Queen Alicent for choosing Rhaenyra's version of events last episode. Alicent says no, he was just too ambitious for his own good. But Otto then elucidates her to her situation now. Queen Alicent is kind of in a pickle. She must either cleave entirely to Rhaenyra and beg for mercy for herself and her children, or ensure Aegon's supremacy in the line of succession before Viserys' death. Otherwise, she puts them at risk of being murdered, essentially, when Rhaenyra comes to take the throne. And then he just bounces after scaring the fucking bejesus out of his poor kid. When Alicent finds comfort in the Godswood, she finds Lord Larys Strong, Lionel Strong's son, creeping amongst the trees. He says that Otto's departure seemed unjust from the outside looking in, and he offers his condolences. Alicent is naturally suspicious of his intentions. He plays his hand a little brazenly, fishing for information about Otto's departure. When he sees Alicent pulling away, he lets a little bit of info slip strategically without making it seem like Alicent didn't already know. He says that the Grand Maester delivered Rhaenyra that moon tea a couple evenings ago. Alicent gamely doesn't let it slip that this bothers her and turns away when she needs a moment to collect herself. She's really good at the game, but she knows what that tea means, and it clearly bothers her. Back at Driftmark, Viserys' arrival does not draw any fanfare, much to the chagrin of Lord Lionel Strong. Rhaenyra is kept out of her own marriage negotiations as Lord Strong, King Viserys, Lord Corlys, and Princess Rhaenyra convene to discuss the terms. In the meeting, Viserys is clearly sick, but he's also very congenial, and he really is eager to get this deal done. Corlys informs Viserys that Daemon's wife, Rhea Royce, suffered a most peculiar riding accident that resulted in her death. She was well regarded as a fine and talented hunter and rider. Oh, and somehow falling from her horse, this skilled rider, Rhea Royce, managed to crush her skull and neck. So strange, they say. They say that Daemon stands to inherit Runestone since he and Lady Rhea Royce had no heirs. Anyway, it's clear they have designs on Runestone, probably through a marriage between Daemon and their daughter Laena. I don't feel like I would feel particularly comfortable marrying off my daughter in light of these circumstances, but okay. Viserys then moves on to the meat of his visit, a marriage proposal between Rhaenyra and Lord Laenor. But Corlys wants to map out a succession plan before they get to the good stuff. That's a smart move considering this whole fucking show, but what Lord Corlys really means to do here is propose that any offspring from Rhaenyra and Lord Laenor take the name Valyrian. Of course, a Targaryen must always sit atop the Iron Throne, so Viserys counters that, okay, Rhaenyra will take the name Valyrian, as will their offspring, but any child who sits actually upon the Iron Throne must be named Targaryen. And they agree on that. I think that's kind of stupid, but okay. Rhaenyra and Laenor take a walk on the beach and get to know each other, discussing their hypothetical betrothal. Rhaenyra suggests that should they wed, that they both should feel comfortable pursuing their own interests discreetly after they fulfill their duties to the realm. It's implied here that Rhaenyra knows that Laenor is gay, and that she wants the freedom to have her own extramarital affairs with each other's blessings. In private, Lord Corlys and Princess Rhaenys discuss Lord Corlys's big ask from earlier. Did he push Viserys too hard? Rhaenys doesn't think so. Rhaenys thinks the king belittled himself. Coming to Driftmark sick to beg for their son's hand is below his station. It was undignified of him. Lord Corlys is excited about the prospect of Rhaenyra and Laenor hitting it off, but Princess Princess Rhaenys reminds him that they know Laenor is gay. She says that denying the fact that Laenor is gay puts him in danger, that the lords of Westeros will come to challenge Rhaenyra's succession as there is a male heir already available in Aegon. Corlys isn't worried about this at all though. He says that they control the realm's navy and half of its dragons. What is anybody gonna do? And it's like, yeah, who's gonna make them answer? You know, like, who? But Rhaenys pushes back like, why? Why does he want this so bad? Is it money? Is it pride? Corlys answers that he wants justice. Justice for the way that Rhaenys was passed over so many years ago, her birthright taken from her. He believes that putting her children on the Iron Throne will somehow right the wrong that was done to her so many years ago, but Rhaenys says that that is just not true. He's fighting a battle for her that she doesn't want. She put that business behind her years ago, and she wishes he would do the same. She'd much rather see their family thrive, as they have been, than die with a crown on their head, you know? Laenor and his lover, Sir Joffrey, discuss Lord Laenor's fate. Neither seems particularly concerned at the prospect of Laenor's marriage. They allude to knowing that Rhaenyra has a paramour of her own, as evidenced by her suggesting that they each have their own extramarital affairs. It was kind of jumping the gun on her part. They mull over who it might be and gossip a little bit. Then we pivot to Rhaenyra and said paramour, Sir Criston Cole. They're on their way to King's Landing and they're flirty as heck. Sir Criston finally spits out what's been on his mind. He's heard her talk ill of her position so many times, of all of the duties that come along with it, being forced to marry who someone else chooses for her. And he wants to offer her a path of freedom away from all of that, which weirdly enough involves marrying him, of course. Weird how that works out, right? He wants to take her to Essos. There he can be a sellsword, whatever. At first, she doesn't understand. She's like, you want leave? She's like confused and hurt initially. And then he's like, no, I want to marry you. And when she realizes this, she basically laughs at him. She could have just played it off like, I can't forgo my duty though I love you. She said like, you really think I would live a life of infamy in exchange for a bushel of oranges? I'm gonna be the fucking queen. Don't you have any honor? And he's like, yeah, I had honor and then I gave it up and I was trying to get it back by marrying you. You know, because of the sex thing. She tries to tell him that her and Sir Laenor have an understanding and that they can still fuck. But understandably, like, Sir Criston is not exactly jazzed at the idea of just being her little toy on the side. Then she tries to give him the whole spiel alluding to Aegon the Conqueror's whole prophecy and the prince that was promised, their duty to protect the realm, blah, blah, blah. And Sir Criston rightfully, he just, like, walks away because, like, that's not his business. You know what I mean? Like, he got what he, like, that's not his business. He needs to leave. Sir Criston Cole is then summoned to the Queen's chambers immediately upon arriving back at King's Landing. Alicent grills Criston about the night Daemon and Rhaenyra traipsed around King's Landing together, but Criston misunderstands. While we know Queen Alicent is clearly probing for details about Rhaenyra and Daemon's coupling, Sir Criston immediately just spills all the beans about himself and Rhaenyra. He then begs Queen Alicent for a quick death as opposed to the customary castration that comes with violating his chastity vow. Alicent, horrified, dismisses him. Alicent's facial muscles and like nostril control is crazy. Also, say Alicent's facial muscles 7 times. I've literally said it 7 times and I still fucking can't. It's hard for Alicent to come to terms with the fact that her friend lied to her, but especially when the consequences are so grave. Alicent can't approach this betrayal the same way she would have in girlhood. The ramifications are too dire now, both for herself and for Rhaenyra. Viserys is being cared for by a maester who is not interested in deviating from traditional medicine. They stick with the leeches. When they're alone, Viserys and Lord Strong discuss Viserys' legacy. Will he be remembered as a good king, he asks. Will he be remembered at all? He's not suffered any great losses or conquered any big lands or anything like that. Has he done anything of consequence at all? Lord Lionel tells Viserys that he should be thankful to have such a peaceful reign. Viserys, though, demurs and says, I wish I had been put to test once. And Lord Strong says, many who have been put to test wish they hadn't been. The royal wedding celebrations between Rhaenyra and Lord Laenor commence. We get another sip of the best character, Sir Jason Lannister, the greatest skis in the kingdom, and his twin brother, what's his face? Jason tries to land this joke about like women be shopping or like women can't go to war or something, and it doesn't land, and the ensuing silence is so delicious. Also, the audacity of Daemon to show up at all, let alone late. Could you imagine? Viserys then begins his speech celebrating the nuptials without the queen present, only to be interrupted. It's Lady Alicent. She's not just interrupting him. She's green, bitch. She's green. Lord Larys Strong says to his brother Harwin Strong, he says, "What color does the beacon at Hightower glow when Old Town calls their banners to war?" And Harwin says green. And you just see Alicent in this fucking gown, dude. Ugh. She's like, "Congratulations, stepdaughter. What a blessing." Daemon and Rhaenyra throw disgusting looks at one another, and then Daemon and Laena throw disgusting looks at one another, and I'm disgusted. Viserys announces the commencement of 7 days of partying to celebrate the wedding, and it's just like so on brand of Viserys. Alicent then makes a beeline for the Old Town crowd, where they congratulate her on not shrinking in her father's absence. They're impressed, as they should be, with this girl's strength and self-confidence, as they should be because she's impressive and self-confident. Sir Gerald Royce of Runestone then tries to confront Daemon about the murder of his wife, literally accusing him, but Sir Daemon just denies it and states his intention to collect Runestone as his inheritance. This horrifies Gerald and everyone else, including King Viserys and Lord Strong, who all hear this but do and say nothing. Laena's own beau nails down that it is indeed Sir Criston Cole, Rhaenyra's sworn protector, that is her secret paramour. He does this because Sir Criston Cole cannot keep a freaking handle on himself. They call him cunt struck. This is the perfect way to describe this situation. Like, it's my new favorite thing. He just like cannot keep it together. Sir Joffrey then decides to let Sir Criston in on the fact that he knows about Sir Criston and Rhaenyra. He says that they have a mutual secret and they can work together to protect the royal couple. But it is also kind of a veiled threat meant to protect Sir Joffrey and Lord Laenor. Sir Joffrey and Sir Laenor do have more to lose here, so it kind of does make sense that this takes on a little bit of a threatening tone. Sir Criston Cole tries to like deliberately move out of Sir Joffrey's way, and Sir Joffrey goes out of his way to hit Sir Criston Cole anyway on his way away from the little interaction. This is not an awesome move on Sir Joffrey's part, as we will come to understand. In the chaos of the party, Daemon tracks down Rhaenyra and hastily tells her that her life with Laenor is going to be a bore and to marry him instead. She dares Daemon to sweep her off her feet then and there and take off with her to Dragonstone, but his time is running out. If he wants her, he needs to do something about it. And she definitely wants him to. But just as Viserys sees them together, just as Daemon is about to make a really serious move, like violence breaks out. And I mean like crunchy, bloody violence. It's a veritable melee and Rhaenyra is almost trampled in the chaos. It's unclear what's happening, what broke out, and who's going after who. But eventually Laenor sees that Sir Joffrey's in the scuffle and tries to intervene. We then see that it is Sir Criston Cole who fucking throws Laenor off of him and continues beating Sir Joffrey's face in. Meanwhile, Lionel Strong instructs his son, Harwin Strong, to retrieve the princess in the crowd by any means. Sir Harwin delights in this and goes above and beyond in his duty. After Sir Joffrey is essentially reduced to mincemeat, Criston just gets up and leaves quietly. Like, nobody stops him, nobody questions him. I'll just let him leave. Laenor and Rhaenyra then have a solemn wedding in front of their immediate family and Sir Lionel. Laenor is obviously barely keeping it together. The blood of his beloved is like 4 feet away. Viserys is having a hard time too, and he doesn't make it. Sir Criston goes to the Godswood, where he intends to kill himself. Alicent finds him and stops him. And that's it for episode 5 of House of the Dragon. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next week. Bye!